The pop star says she's giving a special concert and donating the profits to AIDS research. The concert is slated for July 13th in New York. I'm Bobby Batista, Headline News.
Madonna was inspired to do the fundraiser when a close friend died of AIDS last year. It was her way of fighting back the disease with money and information.
You know, AIDS is a powerful and mysterious disease that continues to elude us, but we are more powerful because we can stop it from spreading any further by educating ourselves and finding out the facts.
The facts, in the form of a comic book, were handed out free to all concert goers.
You must be my lucky star, 'cause you shine on me wherever you are.
Proceeds from ticket sales and merchandising will go to the American Foundation for AIDS Research. The money will be put to work in the laboratory by the end of the month. Ticket sales of up to $100 a seat raised $250,000 for research. Madonna's concert tour will return to its schedule tomorrow night at the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington. We're going to wrap it up with more of Madonna from last night's benefit concert in New York. Here she is singing her top 10 hit from 1984, Lucky Star. See you tomorrow.
Take care, everybody.
Wednesday night at 7 on Movie 32, it's a story of survival under the Nazi occupation of Holland in Soldier of Orange. Alfred Hitchcock Presents is next on Fox 32.
Art Against AIDS was an effort by 600 New York artists, which raised $2 million. And then there was the $400,000 raised in one night by Madonna. Her sold-out benefit concert at New York's Madison Square Garden in July was the first by a major American pop star.
You know, AIDS is a powerful and mysterious disease that continues to elude us, but we are more powerful because we can stop it from spreading any further by educating ourselves and finding out the facts. I love you too, but shut up for a second.
Speaking of charities, 6 to 8 new AIDS research projects will get underway in laboratories across the country, and we have Madonna to thank for it. According to the American Foundation for AIDS Research, her recent concert at New York's Madison Square Garden raised more than $400,000 to help find a cure. A foundation spokeswoman called the concert a big, big step in getting rock and roll involved in the fight against AIDS and in getting the message to the youth market. No artists at the moment now are planning similar benefit shows, but she said, quote, "We're hopeful that Madonna's example will encourage others to do the same." Now, this concert helped inspire this week's MTV News poll question, which was a simple one. Should there be a Live Aid-type concert to benefit AIDS research? Here's how you voted. I'm glad to see that the majority said yes. Madonna's concert occurred within 24 hours, by the way, of Virgin Records President Richard Branson's keynote speech at the New Music Seminar. He urged musicians to get together and do something about AIDS, the same way they alerted the world to the problem of the Ethiopian famine.
Madonna is one artist already doing something about the crisis. She raised over $500,000 for AIDS research at a benefit Monday night in New York.
Hopefully, with your presence tonight, the money that we've raised for research grants will help us to find a cure, and I hope to God it does.
The sold-out audience, which included Madonna's husband, actor Sean Penn, opened up their pocketbooks as well as their hearts, shelling out as much as $100 a ticket to benefit AMFAR, the American Foundation for AIDS Research.
Hopefully, with your presence tonight, the money that we've raised for research grants will help us to find a cure, and I hope to God it does.
Madonna received a lot of support from AMFAR when her former roommate, a New York artist, became sick last year with AIDS. He died in November.
So if you should ever die, wonder what love is all about.
Most of the fans I talked to tonight were primarily here to see Madonna, but they were also aware this was a benefit and glad that their money was going to support a good cause.
I paid $100 for both tickets, and I feel the money's really going to go for a good cause, you know. Something really has to be done about this, you know.
Madonna also wanted this to be an educational event for her fans, so each one received a comic book describing how the disease can and cannot be transmitted.
A lot of these people wouldn't even bother to read it if it wasn't for Madonna. You know, they wouldn't bother to read it, but if it's given at a Madonna concert, then they might think, you know, this is something important.
Tonight's benefit is expected to raise more than $350,000 for AIDS research. From Madison Square Garden, Sarah Wallace, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Well, Madonna returns to our area for another concert in August. That will be at Giant Stadium, and sorry, Madonna fans, it's been sold out.
And News 4's Ben Farnsworth was there.
They lined up at the Garden. Nobody had to ask who's that girl. It was Madonna they had come to see. Special contributors had paid $50 to $100 for the best seats. But Madonna wanted to make sure that her fans could afford to be there, too. So half of the 13,000 tickets went for $25. There were plenty of people who looked like Madonna, but it was the genuine article who took over the stage. Last winter, the American Foundation for AIDS Research asked Madonna if she would do something for the battle against the disease. She promised they would hear from her the next time she went on the road. Sure enough, the foundation got a call 3 weeks ago that this extra concert would be added to her Who's That Girl tour. Tonight's performance will raise about $250,000.
Hopefully, with your presence tonight, the money that we've raised for research grants will help us to find a cure, and I hope to God it does.
Only a few hours before the concert began, the American Foundation for AIDS Research met to decide which researchers will get the money raised here tonight. The foundation vowed that the funds collected from Madonna fans would be at work in laboratories by the end of the month. Ben Farnsworth, News 4 New York.
Well, only a handful of rock singers ever achieve superstardom, but Madonna is clearly on her way. Top 5 records, movies, and now at Madison Square Garden, a benefit concert for AIDS, part of her nationwide Who's That Girl tour. And who's that reporter? It's Steve Powers. Steve?
You're absolutely right. While the cause here is serious, AIDS, I'll tell you, inside it is actually thunder and lightning. Madonna doing a show electrifying the crowd of fans. Some of the fans include Don Johnson, Calvin Klein, Donald Trump, people like that. In the middle of the concert, though, Madonna took the stage and then took a moment out for the cause.
Hopefully, with your presence tonight, the money that we've raised for research grants will help us to find a cure, and I hope to God it does. And thank you once again for being here. Are you ready to party? You must be my lucky star, so just shine on me wherever you are. I just think of you and the stars to know, and I need your light, and baby you know, starlight, starlight, the stars I see tonight, starlight, starlight, make everything right, starlight, starlight, the stars I see tonight.
Hate to do that to you, but that was just a little taste. But Madonna was in excellent form. She has a chorus behind her, a band, tremendous, tremendous production. And they believe that she's raised a tremendous amount of money for AIDS. The tickets sold for between $25 and $100, and they estimate $250,000 was raised tonight for AMFAR. That's the American Federation for AIDS Research. So everything was in a good cause and came out just fine. Steve Powers, Fox News, Channel 5.
The hottest ticket in town was definitely for a seat at Madison Square Garden tonight. Up on stage, Madonna in a $25 to $100 a seat performance to help with AIDS research. In her skimpy lingerie, the Material Girl was not wearing much material, but her repertoire was packed with those 11 consecutive top 5 hits that have made Madonna a big star. She may now have more muscles than Sylvester Stallone at the concert. Comic books about AIDS were distributed to the audience. Madonna is the biggest star yet to do a concert for the benefit of AMFAR. That's the American Foundation for AIDS Research. Her tour winds up on August 9th. She returns to the New York area at Giant Stadium. That's New York Tonight for this Monday. I'm Sheila Steinbach.
The Material Girl had New Yorkers emptying their pockets for her, all in the name of a good cause. She staged a benefit for AIDS research at Madison Square Garden Monday night, and concert goers paid up to $100 a ticket to see the show. Lauren Sidney has more.
Madonna and her fans opened their hearts and pocketbooks to help find a cure for AIDS. Madonna is the latest among a slew of celebrities to stage a benefit concert for the American Foundation for AIDS Research.
Enough has been said already, and I don't want to turn this into a morbid event. You know, AIDS is a powerful and mysterious disease that continues to elude us, but we are more powerful because we can stop it from spreading any further by educating ourselves and finding out the facts. All right, so hopefully with your presence tonight, the money that we've raised for research grants will help us to find a cure, and I hope to God it does.
Madonna's performance was so intense that it resembled an athletic event. Wearing a bustier complete with tassels, she danced and gyrated through 16 hits. The concert was expected to raise more than $250,000 for AIDS research. Lauren Sidney, CNN, New York.